There are rules you're told, and then there are rules whispered only among those who understand what real power costs. The kind of rules Machiavelli hinted at between his lines. Truths too sharp for polite society. Most believe power lives in confidence, charisma, dominance. But Machiavelli knew the truth: power doesn't reveal itself. It withholds itself. Every time you walk into a room, you're not just being seen. You're being measured, not by friends, not by enemies, but by opportunity itself. An opportunity is cruel. It listens to your tone. It studies your posture. It memorizes your reactions. The moment you show too much, it knows where to cut. Because in public, you are one of two things: the observer or the observed. Once you become predictable, once your emotions leak through your mask, you belong to the crowd. They no longer wonder what you'll do next. They already know. Machiavelli understood. The most dangerous thing in the world isn't an open enemy. It's an exposed soul. That's why the powerful don't simply act differently. They rehearse invisibility. They strip away anything that reveals weakness until all that remains is pure control. These are not rules for the polite or the idealistic. They are rules for those who want to move unseen, yet always felt. The stillness that others orbit around, to become unraidable, untouchable, inevitable. And there are 9 instincts, subtle, human, common, that destroy this invisibility. 9 habits that ordinary people indulge in daily. Without realizing, each one bleeds away their presence. Machiavelli wouldn't just avoid them. He'd study them and erase them from his public life completely. If you want to build an aura of dominance, not through arrogance, but through psychological gravity, you must do the same. Because every failure becomes a spectacle. Every delay becomes gossip. The Machiavellian approach is surgical: move quietly. Let people underestimate you. Let them think you're idle, distracted, indifferent. Then one day let your results appear, fully formed, undeniable, unchallenged. And in that moment, the silence that preceded your success becomes a weapon. They'll wonder how you did it, when you started, why you never mentioned it. And that mystery, that confusion, is worth more than applause. People are addicted to narratives. Give them one too early, and they'll own your story before you live it. Deny them that story, and they'll invent one around your absence. And that's how legends begin. So when you plan, do it privately. When you act, do it quietly. And when you win, do it once, without saying a word. The 9 laws of public power. 1. Never complain in public. To most, complaining feels honest, a way to connect, to share, to find empathy. But to Machiavelli, it was a confession of weakness disguised as authenticity. Every complaint says, "I couldn't control this." The powerful endure quietly. They let their silence become tension. Because the moment you broadcast your pain, you redefine yourself. You're no longer the one who shapes events. You're the one events happen to. Hold your silence. That silence doesn't make you smaller. It makes others uneasy. And unease is control. 2. Never reveal insecurity. Everyone has doubts. The powerful simply don't perform them. The moment you expose insecurity, even casually, you plant an idea that others can't unsee. Say, "I'm not good at this," and people start treating you as if you never will be. Machiavelli called it the erosion of authority. The mind is lazy. It takes confessions as permanent truths. He believed in the art of the mask, not deception, but self-preservation. Say less. When asked if you're confident, say, "Confident enough." When pressed for reassurance, give only a calm nod. Because what others imagine about you will always be stronger than the truth. The less they see, the more they project, and projection is power. 3. Never boast about plans. Ambition loses its edge the moment it's spoken aloud. The loud dreamers, the ones who announce their goals, are already leaking leverage. When you reveal direction, you reveal vulnerability. You invite envy, interference, and subtle sabotage. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise act before they are seen to act." Boasting satisfies your hunger for validation before victory has even been earned. And when you fail, the world celebrates, so say less. Never reveal your aim until the arrow is launched. 4. Never take sides in petty conflicts. Loyalty in public is a leash. The moment you take sides, you inherit another's enemies. Machiavelli warned, "The most dangerous wars aren't fought with swords, but with opinions." Every stance reveals your coordinates, he said. When you show what you defend, you show what can hurt you. So stay still. Stay above the fray. Neutrality isn't weakness. It's preservation of choice. When both sides are done bleeding, they'll both still need you. 5. Never hunger for attention. Attention feels like power, but it's a drug, and drugs create dependency. The one who needs to be seen has already surrendered, because what's visible is controllable. Machiavelli taught that true presence comes not from chasing the spotlight, but from pulling it through scarcity. When everyone talks, the silent one becomes magnetic. When everyone performs, the still one becomes divine. Desperation is loud, power whispers. 6. Never break under pressure. The world is watching. A disagreement, a challenge, a confrontation, and your composure becomes your crown. You can lose everything else, but if you keep your stillness, the myth remains intact. Most men fail not because they lose, but because they flinch. That tiny crack in composure tells the crowd, "He can be broken." Machiavelli's code was simple. When others shout, lower your voice. When others panic, breathe slower. Because composure, once mastered, is indistinguishable from superiority. 7. Never over-explain yourself. Weak men justify. Strong men clarify only when necessary. The truly powerful let silence speak. Over-explanation isn't communication. It's submission. Every extra word you use to defend yourself admits that someone else's opinion has weight. Machiavelli never explained. He redirected. When challenged, he'd say, "Perhaps you understood me perfectly." Power doesn't need to prove itself. It simply lets time do the explaining. 8. Never reveal bitterness. Rejection pulls most people downward. But Machiavelli turned rejection into distance, and distance into myth. To show bitterness is to confess attachment. He wrote, "Absence sharpens respect, presence dulls it. Walk away quietly. Withdraw without emotion, without complaint, because the one who leaves without harm forces the world to wonder if they made a mistake." Bitterness exposes. Detachment mystifies. 9. Never publicly criticize the powerful. Attacking those above you doesn't make you brave. It makes you visible, and visibility without leverage is suicide. Machiavelli studied this endlessly. When lesser men criticized rulers, even truth became treason. He never attacked upward. He waited. He collected weakness like currency, and struck only when time itself wanted vengeance. He said, "Never interrupt the downfall of arrogance. Let gravity finish what pride began. Because to survive among lions, you must learn to kneel without bending. Once you remove these 9 weaknesses, you create vacuum. And in that vacuum, perception does the rest." People project confidence where they see control. They project depth where they sense silence. They project strength where they find absence. Machiavelli's true genius wasn't domination. It was orchestration. He didn't win through noise. He won through invisible pressure. When the room can't predict you, it adjusts around you. And that's when power begins. The 5 traits that complete the transformation. 1. Controlled presence inhabits space as if you own it, even before you do. The secret isn't confidence, it's composure. Confidence asks for attention. Composure collects it. Move slower than the environment expects. Speak after others finish, but before silence turns awkward. That pause becomes your command center, because movement signals hierarchy. The one who waits is calculating. 2. Strategic warmth. Coldness builds distance. Warmth builds loyalty. Machiavelli knew affection was a weapon when used precisely. Offer warmth by choice, never by habit. Give genuine attention to one person at a time, never to the crowd. Because crowds dilute warmth. Individuals amplify it. Controlled warmth disarms. It's not manipulation, it's precision. 3. Calculated silence. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a pause sharpened into a blade. In conversation, people fear silence, so they rush to fill it. And in doing so, they reveal themselves. Hold the gaze. Say nothing. They'll justify what you never accused. Confess what you never asked. All you did was wait. 4. Invisible direction. The best command is the one that feels like someone else's idea. Machiavelli guided through questions, not orders. Instead of, do this, he'd ask, I wonder if this would work faster. Curiosity hides control. Let others believe they're free while they orbit your gravity. That is rule without resistance. Influence without exposure. 5. Detached self-image. At the peak lies detachment. You no longer measure worth by reaction or reputation. You are not a reflection. You are the mirror itself. Machiavelli knew that the moment you crave admiration, you lose control over it. But when you detach, admiration starts chasing you. People fear what they can't define. They respect what they can't predict. Detach from applause, from rumor, from misunderstanding. Not because you don't care, but because caring too visibly is weakness disguised as passion. The goal isn't indifference, it's independence. And once you no longer seek reaction, you become the axis, unmoving. While the world spins to interpret you, Machiavelli never taught power as noise. He taught it as architecture. The 9, never, rules form the foundation, stone, disciplined, impenetrable. The 5 traits build the palace above it, refined, magnetic, and dangerous. Together, they create a man who cannot be read, a presence that cannot be rushed, a silence that cannot be ignored. Because the Machiavellian doesn't win through aggression. He wins through gravitational inevitability. He doesn't chase power. He defines the air it breathes.